All right. So if you've been thinking about moving to Cochrane, but your biggest question as a young family is, okay, whoa, where does my kid go to school here? The answer is on a couple different websites. And so instead of making you scroll around the internet for half an hour, I did that for you. So let's go dive into this video and we'll figure out where your kids go to school in Cochrane, Alberta. So first off, just pulling up Cochrane's website here, it gives a list of all the different schools. And for this video, I'm going to focus primarily on the elementary and middle schools because that's your K to 8. And then next week, I'm going to dive into the couple high schools. So to keep things simple, there are 2 schools in this list that apply to all of Cochrane in the area. And those are the specialty schools. So this Cochrane Christian Academy, that one's open to any kids in Cochrane. And obviously by the name is the Christian school. It's a K to 8, so that's available there. The next school that's a specialty school that applies to the whole area would be the Holy Spirit Catholic School, and that's a K to 7. It's located in the Fireside community, which if you want to know more about that, because Calgary Catholic is something you're interested in, I'll put a link about here somewhere. And so those are the 2 schools that apply to the whole area of Cochrane. There's a couple other schools that are more community-based, and so we'll touch on those now. So the next one that's very simple to figure out, hey, does my kid go here, is Ranch View School. Now, Ranch View School itself is nestled inside of the community of Sunset Ridge. And so if you are in Sunset Ridge, that is where your boundary is for your school, which is Ranch View. It's a K to 8. And then if you are in Sunset Ridge, I'll touch on this in the next video, the high school that your kid will go to is also in Sunset Ridge. So that one makes it pretty simple, nice and easy. The other ones that are a little different is Fireside. So Fireside School, again, that one is inside of Fireside, and it applies to everybody south of the river. So as you can see here, it's got Fireside in there, Riverview in there, Precedence, Bow Valley, all of the areas in here behind the car dealerships, all will go to Fireside, and that is a K to 8 as well. The other schools that are kind of a little bit more specialized are obviously the French immersion schools. So there's a few schools in Cochrane if you want to go and do the French immersion route that you definitely can. And those are the École Elizabeth Barrett Elementary and the École Notre Dame de Vallée. I'm not French, probably butchered that. I apologize if I did. But those are the 2 elementary schools. And the differences there fall into where you actually are living, on which one of these 2 schools you'll attend for your K to 4. And so they split that. So your Elizabeth Barrett is all this, basically, I'll scroll in and I'll zoom out here, is all the surrounding communities. You can see anything inside of this boundary will be Elizabeth Barrett K to 4. If you actually live inside of Cochrane proper, then you are going to attend. So this École Notre Dame de Vallée is the one that's going to be for this area here. So if you live inside of Cochrane, the city proper, and not on the outskirts as you see based on the Elizabeth Barrett. So basically everything inside of here and in Sunset, if you want to go K to 4 French immersion, you're going to go to the École Notre Dame de Vallée. Both of those schools, however, if you are in the French immersion track, will both go to the École Manachibin Middle School. And that is your 5 to 8 French immersion school. So those 2 there are the kicker where they both feed that same school. And that's envious here. So it shows everything here is a 5 to 8 attendance, but just know that if you are French immersion, this area here is included in the French immersion, even though it's a little bit confusing on the map. And that's just being that if you're in the English, this is where you'll be in your 5 to 8. The last 2 schools are Glenbow Elementary and Mitford Middle School. And both of those are inside of the central hub of Cochrane, and both of those schools apply to the inner area. So Glen Eagles is not included in that boundary. Heritage Hills is not included in that boundary. And I'll just pop up those maps here and you can take a peek and see what I'm talking about. So here is your Mitford boundary. Same thing, using that railway as a boundary. Follow my cursor here. and then down into Cochrane proper, but excluding all the new communities south of the river. The other one is Glenbow, and it has the same boundary. So just keep that in mind. If you live in Glen Eagles and everything like that, you are going to be switched into the Elizabeth track, or the English track of Elizabeth Barrett for K-4, and then moving into Minak Japan for K-5. So you can see here English and English. So your K-4 and K-5, and then 5 to 8 are in two separate schools if you're in the perimeter, unless you can get approval and move in. But those are your general boundaries. And then to keep it simple, obviously, Ranch View applies only to Sunset Ridge. Fireside, again, only to areas south of the river. So it's just something to keep in mind and just pay attention to where these boundaries are. I'll include this link here, which is the Rocky View Alberta website with Cochrane Elementary Schools, in the link below. And the other link I'm going to include here is the link on Cochrane's webpage to their schools. I wanted to keep this video pretty short, pretty straightforward. The reason being is there's obviously going to be some ways that if you want to move to a different school, or you're coming out of one community and you're going to not want to move your child for a few grades, that's up to the school board, and anything like that I won't know the answer to. These, at least by tagging those links, will help you know where to look and find that information. And then if you have any questions about boundaries, or if you want to ask a specific question that you think I might be able to find out the answer to, just drop that in the comment section below and let me know if this was helpful, and if there's anything else about Cochrane itself that you would like me to do a video on, because I'd love to just provide content that's helpful for you. So again, I'll include the link to Cochrane's website here. I'll include the link to Rocky View and their school page here with Cochrane area. And then I guess the only other school that you can would apply here is if I zoom out, if you are in Cochrane area and you live just around the 567 boundary and then north up to 22, so you may consider Cochrane as your home, then everything north here, but still inside of Rocky View County, you're going to be going to Westbrook School, which I'll zoom in on the map here. So there you can see there, Westbrook School applies to everything north, kind of north of that 567, as you can see here with this boundary, whereas the Cochrane schools all apply south of that. So if you call Cochrane home, but you kind of live up in the 567 area, Westbrook will be your K-8. So hopefully I covered all the schools there. Again, if you have any questions about the boundaries, I just wanted to give you a good overview and show you the different boundaries. Drop the links below, and I hope this was really helpful for any of the young families trying to figure out that question of, where does my kid go to school in Cochrane, Alberta?